Today, I just had Logan drop me here at the north end of the Dunn branch, Pine Creek. See the kudzu covering everything, the creek flying down here in the middle. As I'm climbing down in the creek, which will take me off this way, I just want us to look at the landscape. It's very moundy through this neighborhood. So, no idea what we'll be finding today, the usual artifacts in the creek, but I haven't made the full walk from here down to the usual entry point in probably a couple of years at this point. So I figured it was time to come do it. So we're gonna head in here. This is the branch of Pine Creek where you've seen me show videos with the X or man marker tree, where those two creeks meet. This is the one that diverges off to the east, right? And you follow it up and you wind up in this moundy neighborhood that has been cleared with so much having been pushed into this creek. So I'm standing in the area of what would have been Mabila. Now, the metal artifacts, they keep going up this creek. I have not found an end point for them up this creek, coming from Highway 14, which is the usual put-in spot where you see me film from. There are what appear to be much larger sort of caches, if you can call them that, of the metal artifacts up in the neighborhood here. Really large, as a matter of fact, but not at all where I gather from or typically come. As you've seen, it's down on State Highway 14 there at the public parking. Yeah, and everything I've gathered has been south of this point to there. Okay, we've got a hot, sunny, beautiful day, really. We're under 90 degrees, believe it or not, here in Alabama. And we're gonna jump out of these mounds. I hear you. And we're gonna head that way with the bird and see what we find. Okay, so I roughly fell down the kudzu, but I'm here and I need to get moving. I've got a schedule, so I need to make some ground. But just to show you, the second I'm still out of breath, the second I tumble in, here's what I tumble in on. That's quartz. Needs to be cleaned. All right, metal. All different types of metal. These in every step you take. The clay has not yet been fired. Here. Okay. All right, I gotta make some ground. Despite the fact, as you can see, it can be very hard. Look here, we have quite a beautiful stone, right? A staining, which a little elbow grease you can get off. The other side, that's as smooth as glass, almost as though it had been cut with a saw. You know, you can see the points that stick out, so it's not quite, but look here. You see where a false line or a line was started, and then they cut here. And then you find this stone I have them everywhere. You know, back at the house, I have piles of them. Videos on here. You find them, you know, polished and shaped. All right, time to move on. Time to get going. It's not long, not around too many bends before you find yourself in a bit of sanctuary. You know, you almost want to whisper in before the metal. Look, the metal still with the carbon, which you can remove with your hands. It's DeSoto shit, y'all. There's just too much of everything. The work stones. You know, this neighborhood and its clearing has just pushed everything. Look, you can see the ridging from whatever this was. And with each successive rain, it's just all being reburied, re-uncovered. You know, it's different down here every single rain. You see? You could just see rocks. You know, that's what everybody obviously sees. Unless the builders of this neighborhood, you know. They may not have even been able to tell what it is, you know. But as you see, it's too plentiful to try to do anything about if you're trying to make any ground and explore. Two cultures, one piece. See, these little, obviously different metal. You know, it's every piece you turn over, carbon, different type metal. Sheet-like hunks of a different type of metal. Different type metal, charred, some shiny aspects to it, some red aspects to it. See, it's everywhere. Totally different type of metal. Some red on where it melted. Oh, here's the tube. You see, and it's just all different types of metal, different alloys, different shapes, different sizes, all roughly patinated, you know, aged, rusted, the same. Lots of carbon. Look at this piece. Totally black on the back from the fire. Don't know why DeSoto decided to do that. Well, we do, I guess. He was pissed. He did not expect this this plan that was put in place. It's a genius plan, you know, even today, by today's standards. Realizing that here at Mabila, we're less than 9 miles as the crow flies from Attahachie, where they met. You know, Tuscaloosa takes DeSoto to the Alabama River, crosses over to Piachia, nearly due south of here, nearly south of Prattville, marches them up here, in hopes, of course, I'm sure, that whatever happened, they wouldn't find the rest of the towns, you know, Attahachie, and do anything as they did when they circled back 30 miles, you know, or whatever in a radius. I'm sure they realized, you know, what a goose chase they'd been led on, and all of that, I'm quite certain, played a pretty significant part in DeSoto's decision to turn north and chase the rumors of Tuscaloosa instead of heading south for certain supply. But before that, he got mad the day of when he nearly lost his life, escaped with something like 30 arrows in his cloak, And he burned all his stuff, which was inside the town. And then somebody went to building a neighborhood and plowed over the town. Keep moving. Quickly showcasing pottery shards. You know, it's all here. Metal. You can't even get up to move. Different type of metal. Look, 3 different types of metal. Some really nice work stone too. What surely were some sort of decorative rock. Isn't that beautiful? Worked. And then here's a piece of metal. Really shows off the red aspect, you know, that some of these pieces take. All different. Clay, not fired, obviously been underground somewhere until recently. And I'm just going to point to it. It's really too numerous to even try any productive collecting. Every step you take. Okay, the other side of that, I made it under that. The other side of that, it got impossible without a machete. So I had to phone Logan to circle back. So I was grateful because of what I'm finding. So here I stopped. I can't see my screen anymore with this showing. To unearth this large hunk of metal, right? See the angles there, the different layers in there. And what did I find wedged in there? But a sheared, clean, worked piece of stone. Yeah, it's a heavy one, but worth taking for examining and cleaning off, I do think. Different type of metal. Different type of metal. 2 cultures, 1 piece. You can see clay pieces and small rocks trapped in the back of this. Obviously where it's sat, then you can see the striation in there. During the fire. All right, I'm gonna keep moving to meet Logan. Just wanted to document that cool little find there. Oh, there's a great piece of moonstone. See the striations in the quartz in there. Okay, so you want to be brought along with me. This is being brought along. Granted, most of the stuff does take a little exploring, you know, to get to. I originally was coming down here precisely because of that, you know, for the peace, the sanctuary that places like this provide, even though they're still surrounded by our urban sprawl / destruction, you know. Place like this so full of power. I mean, look at the ferns, you know, everywhere. I can't really zoom. My hands are covered with dirt and water. See the ferns. All right. It's almost time to pick up Charlotte. I got to get out of here. I'll be back soon, though. Tough go. doubled over with a bucket of Spanish metal. One of the first type pieces I found out here when I would come out here for the connection, you know, to have quiet moments, sit on these little sandbars, you know, find the native stuff. Well, unlike the rest of the creeks in this area, I come down here, I find these little hollow balls of metal, you know, hole there, broken here, different type metal than all the rest, but I found these type first, and my mind is just being racked going, okay, I know the natives didn't make this, right? They must have found them and used them, because I was finding them in such proliferation that nothing else made sense. You know, they were using this because I found the rest of their stuff, you know, is what my mind said, until I learned about the Battle of Mabila. It's a cool piece. Fired clay. Now, just sitting here underneath this, as you can hear, rather noisy state highway, let's take a look at what we find here on this end of the Mabila complex. And obviously what you'd expect, the rainwater, the water flow is pushing down the smaller pieces. So just sitting here in my little respite spot, waiting for Charlotte to be ready to be picked up. What do we find? Some sort of much lighter porous metal. This evident hole in either side. Look at that. Different type of metal. See the shiny aspect to it. Different type of metal, showcasing the red from the heat. Still got some of the carbon on the back of this piece. Different type of metal. Rock, I mean, and just pick anyone up. This one is really cool. Some sort of effigy piece. Possibly. Either way, certainly worked. And this was how it first got pieced together in my hand, you know. And that's all the difference in the world. Just engaging with your environment. More butterflies, man. Little brown guy. It's beautiful despite the noise.
It's a big moth that I showed.
Yeah. It's a sacred place. Here right next to State Highway 14. But what I refer to as the southern end of the Mabila complex. Oh, butterfly storm. What'd you find, Logan? What's that? 5 of them?
Yeah, 5 or 6. Oh, here's a tiny one.
Oh, and a little blue one. 2 little ones. There he is. Yeah, I caught him. Sacred spot. That's how we first found it, wasn't it, man?
Yeah.
Looking for places like this to connect. After we found the mound right up here, the crescent mound, I believe was, after that I found this tree that is just right here between these two creeks,
Yeah.
marking the southern end of the complex and the burial mound, which is just up that way through there. Okay, well, we're gonna reluctantly start making our way out of here. Just signing off from the X tree at the southern end of the Mabila complex, where Tuscaloosa eventually set DeSoto packing without a shit. All right, so this is everything that was collected today in that bucket, and I recorded several videos. I went further north than I had been in a while, so naturally you're pulling out bigger pieces. Let's take a look at this. For instance, you can see in here the striations, the layer of metal. And you can also see where the heat, they got a little molten rocks. That's a quartz rock stuck to it in various places. Oh, look in here, you can see a good pattern, some striation. And then these big sheets. Again, this one's got a piece of quartz stuck in it. This one, clay pieces, quartz, where it got molten. You can see the same exhibiting on that tip. And several pieces here that have, this guy shows the red aspect from the heat. The same as all these. Red here, even some black. Many of these with the carbon from the fire on the back, different type of metal. Carbonized piece there. And again, like much of the buckets, I've showcased this several times over the years, but I like to keep a start to finish when I start. See, look at this. See the carbonization stuck here. Again, the liquid, the metal is obviously here and then runs out. But I started the series today, so I wanted to end it giving you just a quick look here before we add all of this to the buckets. This guy. And then after a washing and a quick looking over, there's a boy named Sue. Into the buckets they go. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed your look with me at sort of the northern end of Pine Creek, what we'll call really the middle of what would have been Mabila, right? But now it's just got a bunch of houses on it. It's a theme, I know. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's end with the classic Finding Tuscaloosa.